I'm joined by Simon Merry, the drummer for Rick Astley, Bananarama, amongst many other artists as well. On the 7th night of Rick's tour, I believe it's an 18-night tour as well.
I think so. Into. Yeah, you got. Can't remember. We're just
it's just rolling into one.
You know more than
me. So you were in Plymouth last night. You had a bit of a trip up. You were saying today. Finally got to Cardiff in the Motorpoint tonight. How are things going so far?
It's really good. Yeah, I mean it's. We started last week. A couple of days production rehearsals. Got into the flow of it. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's all sort of coming together. And I think now, kind of sort of like that sort of coming up sort of midway, we're sort of quite relaxed with it now. It's nice, but different audiences with some theatres we're doing, and then we're doing some arenas. So it's a quite a mix of audience.
Does that change sort of how you play and how Rick performs as well? And sort of
it does a bit. Sort of like last night in Plymouth, a lot sort of smaller crowd, but I mean, I've got used to doing some arenas, and you get used to the sort of the enormity of it, and like, wow, this is and then going back to theatres is a bit weird. But no, I think any gig with Rick is great because he's such a great performer. He gives it all every night. And no show's the same. It'll be completely. He hasn't seen Stitches as well. So it's
because you've been with Rick now 7-8 years, something
like that. On and off, about that. So
and he's, I suppose, for somebody in his position, this massive career, sold I think over 40 million albums worldwide by the time he retired initially. Then to come back. Pressure's off really, but then he gets a #1 record with his 50th birthday record, 50. You do that tour, and I suppose it's just the pressure's off, and it's a fun environment, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's why he went back to doing it, because he loved just performing. And I think back in the day, they were just they were killing him with his schedule and all that. And I think he was just like, I don't want to do it anymore. And so getting back into it like he did sort of maybe 10 years ago, he started gigging again, and then obviously to have the success with the album that he did, not just as a present to himself for his birthday. It was like some people buy a car or whatever, or midlife crisis kind of thing, but he made an album just for himself, and it went nuts. And I think the whole people sort of remember him from back in the day, but obviously there's a Rick rolling thing now that's probably bigger in America than it is here, but that he's got a new a younger audience, so there's people that come to the gig, they're in their teens and they're singing all of the new stuff. It's a bit bizarre. But,
So I think he embraced that, didn't he? Did like a live Rick roll or something somewhere in the States once or something like that.
Yeah, I think and also there's this connection with the Foo Fighters. The Foo Fighters did a Rick roll on one of their gigs. Someone was protesting about them playing in the town, and then they Rick rolled the protesters in the back of the van and playing "Never Gonna Give You Up." You've been Rick rolled, and then. We were in Japan last year and playing at the I can't remember what it's called. Is it Subsonic or Supersonic Festival? And we were at the side of the stage watching the Foo Fighters, and Dave Grohl just came over and spoke to Rick and said, "Oh, you're Rick," and then they got him up on stage and they did "Never Gonna Give You Up," completely off the cuff. It was mental. So I think since then as well, I think people, because that just went so viral, that whole thing,
But he's got sort of different interests, I suppose. He had that pop career, obviously playing that stuff, but sort of part of the reason for change was he wanted to sort of go more into the soul stuff and things like that. And originally he was a drummer, of course. And
he's a great drummer as well. He's a really good drummer. He gets up on stage and plays sometimes. He usually does Highway to Hell. And he sings and plays kit. It's good. It gives me a break as well. So.
Exactly. That's cool. And for you at that gig, then I think I saw that one of your guys you kind of admire sort of on the circuit when I was Taylor Hawkins. So that must be cool for you. I think I saw on your Instagram. Got to meet and have a chat. And what was that like?
That night Rick got up on stage with them, and then we just watched the rest of the gig from the side of the stage, and then the manager came over and said, "Do you guys want to hang out with the band afterwards?" It was like, and they laid on a people carrier for us, and we followed their people carrier to their dressing room, and then they got back to their room. They had a little 5 minutes or whatever, Then we came in and we just chilled with them for it must have been about an hour and a half. And I sat next to Taylor Hawkins just talking about drums, just weird. And he was like sitting there with his shorts on, with his top off, eating pizza and just yeah, quite surreal moment, but incredibly normal guys who were just, you know, they were sort of more interested in what we were doing and gigs we'd done, and you know, it was they were really down to earth guys. And,
I suppose it's, and you've been busy as well. I mean, we talked about obviously with Rick, extremely busy. Perhaps, you know, to him as well, since you know that album, surprisingly so, almost originally, you know, when that album came out, and just how it's taken off since then, and the new album Beautiful Life out now as well. And obviously with Bananarama and all that stuff. You're just flat out as far as we can see for next year as well. You've got the Bananarama tour. There's some more dates possibly with Rick, and then take that on the big stadiums. Where I think you finish in Cardiff as well.
I believe so. Yeah, I think the Take That thing's going to be interesting, because obviously Take That have got their own fans and stuff like that. So, but I think Rick will kill it. He'll just come out and just he'll completely have it. So, you know, but it'll be interesting. I mean, certainly playing to that sort of audience, like 75,000 people or whatever at some of those stadiums. So. Yeah, I think it'll be good. Yeah.
But you've got kind of an interesting path to that, I suppose, in that you did the Here and Now tour.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
some links with some guys.
Yeah, and that was kind of back when it first. Initially it was like a house band, and then they'd bring the artist on, and they'd do like 4 or 5 of their big songs, and then go off and say, and sometimes it was like 10 artists in a day, and
so Here and Now is kind of like a thing where sort of artists like Rick would come back and
it's like a sort of, I think they do. I think there's like a Let's Rock thing now. I don't know if you've seen that one. And there's like Rewind Festival. There's quite a few of them now. But initially there was this Here and Now thing, and I was part of that for quite a while, and then Rick was on that show as well. Yeah, so that's kind of how I ended up sort of getting into those 80s artists and playing for them, because once you'd done a sort of one of those shows, and it was just like, oh, can you come in? Do you want fancy doing our gig? And you know, so
you've played for so many people though. How does that sort of differ from gig to gig? And you know, I think I saw an interview with you previously where you kind of like almost, you know, the call comes up maybe to even dep one of these gigs, no time for rehearsal, you just got to get in and play. How does that work in terms of your psyche going into that gig? Are there things cues you're looking to do specifically for certain artists and gigs? Do you have to listen to a great deal of their music?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Every gig is different, but I mean, usually if I'm depping, I mean, you hardly get rehearsals these days, anything like that. You know, if someone rings me up and goes, oh, can you come and dep for me next week? And it's like, yeah, when's the rehearsal? Oh, there isn't one. And it's like, oh, okay. It's like, but I can send you all my charts, and you get the charts, and people have got their own sort of idiot charts, haven't they? You sort of look at it and go, I don't even know which way up that is. It's like, you know, but you know, usually if you have a recording of the gig or whatever, or if you've got you can have the click. Most gigs are on click and that, so you know, can have the backing track, so I know there's nothing going to jump out. But yeah, it can be quite hairy. Yeah, quite hairy. Yeah.
I can imagine, just sort of having to jump from set to set as well. Yeah. It must be nice, I suppose, in the scenario when you are on these longer tours as well, and you get that time to really get stuck into a set. Exactly, that must be a nice luxury, I suppose. Yeah,
but those Here and Now gigs used to be like just pages and pages of music. So literally by like throwing them on the floor and then going, right, who's next? What artist? Who is that? And how does this song go? And you're counting it in as well. 1, 2. I have no idea. Yeah.
I can't even imagine. I mean, so your pathway to that, I suppose that kind of is what sort of led you into this, the pop world, I suppose, to that extent. You started out playing sort of clubs, with stuff with Ken Dodd and things like that.
My dad, we were talking about this earlier actually. Yeah. My dad's a musician. He was actually musical director to Gene Pitney, American singer.
Who you went on to play for as well.
Yeah, that was my first ever tour, 1991, I think it was. Right. And the drummer who had done it for a while, Alan Savage, who was actually taught me to play drums, he couldn't do this tour, and my dad sort of said to me, look, I think you're ready to do this, but I need to audition you. So my dad auditioned me in his studio, which was just weird. He brought the bass player along as well, and we sat there, and I was like, this is music I've been listening to for years and years and years as a kid.
Did he line you up with other auditions?
Well, there's a kind of other, well, it wasn't exactly like that, but he said, well, I've got to make sure you can do it. I know you can do it, but I need to, we've got to go through the, process. So yeah, it was a bit weird. So we sat in the studio and did it, and then I went to Australia when I was 18. Wow. Yeah, it was amazing, and playing with a big band, horn section, string section, and sort of really. I mean, I was quite naive then as well. Never really been anywhere, but and then all of a sudden to be thrown in the deep end, and I got to wear a white shirt and a dicky bar, and I'm like, blaming my dad. It's like, but no, it was great, and I learnt a lot doing that.
It's funny, we were talking in our last interview to Pete Ray Biggin, who's playing level 42, and it's interesting you touch on that point because he was saying how importantly he values that gigging experience that he had. Absolutely. And of course, with college and things like that, you learn certain things, but he was sort of talking quite passionately how sort of a lot of drummers are sort of going into some of the big pop gigs now without having actually done a lot of those gigs, so they're prepared to do it, whereas for him, it's about getting, and it sounds like that's exactly the experience you had going out with G.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, a lot of kids do come straight out of college and get a massive gig, but I think they're terribly underpaid as well. A lot of those gigs now, and the thing is, a lot of those kids as well still live at home and never got any rent to pay, all that sort of thing. And I think they'll just do anything to get a gig, and obviously just the gig's £100 or whatever. Yeah, no, it's a shame, but it's a bit like that now. But no, I was probably like Pete, back of a van doing a gig, have a few drinks, come back, and I remember doing like gigs in the 90s, like getting 40 quid going out, and it was really, really cut your teeth on those sort of gigs.
Yeah. And you did a lot of theatre stuff as well.
Yeah, I have done.
Is that something that's kind of become useful with the pop stuff?
I think I learned to read when I was about 12, 13. Because I remember my dad saying, "Oh, you should learn to read." And I was like, "Oh, it wasn't really a thing." But because my dad comes from that side of it, I did, and it has helped me a lot. You understand music a lot more, and I've gone into situations, where people have gone, "Oh, can you come in depth on this?" And then they've given me proper music to read. It's like, "Oh, okay," it makes it a lot easier for you, if you can do it. But and I do a bit of West End as well, and that's obviously reading. But so that has helped. Yeah. It has helped a lot. I don't know if it's taught a lot now. Is that a thing that happens a lot now?
I teach it. In fact, I know Jeff does who teaches it as well. So, but I think it's a mix. My experience was kind of the same in that I was very much taught to read in my lessons. I had an older drum teacher, but I think it's incredibly valuable because
that's good that when you're doing that. I think it's important, definitely.
It's an important skill, and like you say, it's in that situation when people are looking to book you, especially for those depth gigs. They know you can come in and just get on it straight away, and that's there. So
but then again, there's a lot of really good drummers that don't read at all.
It's gear wise, we're in a drum shop, we're in a drum depot. We better talk gear. We have talked a little bit before, but you're still with Saka drums because you just love the kit.
I've kept on the kits because it just sound great, and we didn't have a lot of time to sort of, especially because we've been out all year, been using the same kit all year as well. The Almighty Birch, which is basically because they made all the Yamaha kits, it's like a 9000. It is a 9000. And one of my first kicks ever was a 9000, so I love the sound of it. That's the kit we're using at the moment. It's on the road and it sounds great. It just does everything I want it to do.
And what do you play? What's your setup with that?
I've got a 10, 12 offset, 14, 16, 22.
And then the snare is quite interesting. You were telling me about earlier.
Snare's a Ludwig Colosseum, which I bought about 91, 92, and I bought it the day that the Brecker brothers were playing at the Festival Hall. And I bought it from London. Is it London Drum Company? I'm not sure. Not London Drum Company. The one down in Camden. But anyway, I bought it from there, and I lumped it around. It's heavy, and I remember leaving it in the cloakroom and stuff like that. But I always remember because the day I bought it, I went to see the Brecker, and Dennis Chambers was playing.
Oh wow!
And then I got on the train back to Northampton, where I'm from, and so that's it's a beautiful snare. It sounds great. And every time I change it and use something else. Our sound guys always like, "No, you've got to go back to that snare." So it's a lovely sounding snare.
And Zildjian cymbals as well.
I've got Zildjian. I've been with Zildjian a long time now. Thanks to Tina. I'm a big fan of the A Customs, so I've got a lot of those going on. Crash Wide, K Crash Wide I'm using, got some splashes, K China. I've got this weird, what's it called? The Trash Crash. I don't know if you've seen that one, the S Trash. It's got loads and loads of little holes in it.
Yeah.
It's like between the China and the Crash, it's lovely.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And then electronics, you use SPDSX with. Do you find that in terms of for all the different artists you play for, that's something you lean on for those sounds?
Yeah, for certain things like certainly for Bananarama last year, a lot of triggered snare stuff.
Right.
And getting the original samples from the record, so one of the producer guys would give me the samples to play, and then so it all sounded authentic,
Yeah.
Wouldn't always trigger, if I'm honest with you. There's a lot of times where it's like.
Okay. We can get that.
Oh yeah, sorry, Roland's quite close to it, isn't it?
I just asked the question.
It works, it's great.
It's great. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. And then so in terms of hardware then as well, is that sort of follow bass pedal?
DW.
Okay.
I love DW 5000
Yeah.
on the hi hat and the kick. And I've got a few of those DW 5000 kicks. I love them. I think they're great. I'm actually got Tama cymbal stands at the moment. Actually, all the Sakai ones fell apart. I can say that now.
Yeah. You can get over that.
Yeah, but I've got some. I'm trying to think what else I'm using. I'm using SPDS just to. That's because we run backing tracks, and I've got Ableton.
Yeah.
Off a laptop, and I use that just for up and down, start and stop. Really, that's what that's used for. And I've got a timbali for the first time on this gig on a Remo. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Which sounds great. And also, if you come to see the show, you'll see me playing a marching drum.
Really? Oh well, I can't wait for that.
Yes, it's a strange thing to play, and I've got a walk and play it as well, so it's strapped on what we do. Yeah.
So you're part of the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is that something you embrace?
Well, it's something I sort of have to do, but but it's weird. As a drummer, you probably know this as well. You feel quite safe being behind the singer, and being your drums and your cymbals are kind of your safety barrier, And then when you come out and then you go to the front of the stage, you're always a bit like, oh God, this is what singers do. This is like really out of my comfort zone.
Yeah. You still get your marching drum.
Right? So you can
kind of hide behind that.
But on this particular show, at the end we all walk off and I'm left playing this marching drum just on my own for maybe like 2 or 3 bars, and then I'll finish and it's like, it's just me.
Spotlight as well?
I think there must be.
You should demand it if there isn't. Yeah. Oh, it sounds cool. I can't wait to see that. I mean, do they vary sort of the shows that you've done over the years with Rick? Then is this sort of very different to the ones in the past, or does he sort of keep a general thing? He's got that, obviously the pop background, the soul background. Does he sort of flip between things, as, in terms of where his preferences are at that time?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's like a soul singer, really. I think that's what he was brought up listening to, and but he loves anything. He's into his prog, and when he's on the kit, he wants to play AC/DC or but it's interesting seeing him progress from when we used to do sort of gigs in Butlins, and then he started doing the sort of 80s retro things, and then it's just snowballed, and he's now we're sort of doing arenas, and it's great. I'm really pleased for him, and they love him as well. And I think the thing is with Rick, he can play in a little jazz club, or pub, which we did the other night actually, the pub where we're staying actually, we got up and played, or he can play in front of 25,000 people and he'll still kill it, he's got that, he has that thing, and I don't think many artists can do that.
No, it's a big difference. It brings us back a little bit to where we were at the start of the interview, just from yours and the whole show. I mean, we talk about that. Obviously, playing arenas on this tour. Next year, we take that. You'll be playing stadiums. Probably sort of 65,000, 70,000 people.
That's going to be interesting.
How do you, as a drummer, approach that differently from playing in a pub, to then going into that environment? Are you just within your bubble there, or or are you fully aware that there are 70,000 people?
I think you're always aware that there's a lot of people out there, and I think anyone who says, "Oh, I'll never get nervous," is a liar. Because I think it's good. I mean, the adrenaline's going, and you're all like, "Ooh," you know, you do have that moment. I think if you didn't, then you're not embracing what's going on. You know.
Yeah.
But you know, I quite like playing in a pub to nobody as much as I do playing playing to a load of people. We did a gig in the pub the other day, and I literally had like a little kick drum and a snare and some hats and a crash right, and that was it. And no carpets, and the kick drums moving on the wooden floor and all that. You know, it was just a laugh, but we were still enjoying it as much as if we'd like playing when we're playing tonight. You know.
Yeah. Is that just finally, because I know you've got to get back for the show.
Yes.
It's probably in about an hour's time. This relaxed person I've seen for a show. You might talk about this is relaxed before a show. Just in terms of what it is about drums and music that for you that moment, whether it was when you began playing, but then also sort of during your career, I suppose, or when you were starting out in your career, that firstly drove you towards drums and the love for the instrument and music, but then also in terms of shaping the way you play and the player that you've become. Can you kind of identify sort of
I don't know. I mean, I started off playing keyboards. My dad's a keyboard player, so he got me to play piano. Which I did for a bit, but he never sort of really taught me. He said, "I'll take you for. You should have lessons with someone else because I don't want you to pick up my bad habits or anything." So I ended up going to a music teacher, and it was just like I wasn't really into it. I didn't really want to play and all that. And it just wasn't my thing really. And I think my dad noticed that, and I was always on. I'd be like 9 or 10 going to his gigs and just watching the drummer all the time, not standing next to the drums, and then sort of like. But I knew my dad was sort of wanted me to be a keyboard player, kind of, but he never really thought. But it was like, and then I think one day he just went, "You don't want to do this, do you?" Play piano. I went, "No." And he went, "Well, okay, let's go and get you a drum kit," and he did.
It worked out okay.
Yeah, it has so far. Thanks, Dad. I mean, and I don't know. It's been only one of the things I'm good at, really, playing the drums, and I really enjoy it. And it's just a buzz every night. I still get that thing of like, oh my god, I make a living playing the drums. Yeah. It's a weird but really nice feeling. And I hope I can continue doing it. That's the thing. As long as everything still works.
I think on your Instagram, your description is something like, I play drums for lovely people.
Yeah.
And that really struck me. I just thought that's such a sort of great way to put it, and that's an important part for you as well. Is those relationships with them. Yeah, of course, because we're basically entertaining people at the end of the day. That's what you're doing, and everyone's got to get on. Everyone's got to be happy. If you go out there, I've got to do this. It's like, no, that's not what it's all about. You have to, obviously you've got to be professional about it always, but it's got to be fun. It has to be fun. It really does. Well, this has been fun. Thanks so much for taking the time out to come to see us at Drum Depot, and can't wait to see you in the show tonight. So thanks so much for seeing us. Cheers. See you, Simon.